Hi folks, the Filipina here. And today I'm going to attempt to answer the question, are Filipinas submissive? And I know that term comes loaded with a bunch of connotations. And just the word itself conjures up all kind of mental images. Some nice, some not so nice. It's no secret that men often come to the Philippines to find a mate that's more in keeping with the things they want out of a relationship. But is submission one of them? And what does that actually mean? Well, let's work our way through this minefield and ask some people on the street to see what they think about it. Are Filipinas submissive? The truth might surprise you. The subject of submission can be quite a can of worms, and people often have strong reactions to it. It can invoke the image of a hopelessly passive woman, stuck in the kitchen, who's simply a slave to her husband's desires, both in and out of the bedroom. And of course, she always seems to be pregnant too. Some people say this kind of woman may lack confidence in herself and her ability to decide things on her own. She might be pressured economically to do whatever it takes to keep her husband happy because she lacks the resources to live a fulfilling life of self-empowerment. Or maybe the man is just a control freak who targeted a woman he knows he can bend to his will. But to other people, the word submissive actually just means supportive, with a woman letting the man lead, especially when it comes to big decisions. It doesn't mean she accepts every order that's barked at her, and she has quite a bit of autonomy within the relationship. And of course, for some people, the Bible is often used as a guide for determining the structure of a relationship. Genesis says, "Your desire will be for your husband, and who will rule over you." Well, I admit that certainly doesn't sound very comforting, depending on how you interpret it. But another passage declares that a wife should submit herself to her husband as he submits himself to the Lord, which sounds more like a standard chain of command. But what does submit mean? Does it mean commit yourself to your mate? Or does it call for a total submission in all things? Well, for those of you who aren't religious, the point is moot. But for people who center their lives around their faith, it's a subject that needs to be clarified. As far as Filipino culture, we always try to avoid conflict and to solve problems without friction and divisiveness. So while we do have a reputation for trying to be agreeable, is that the same thing as being submissive? Let's hear what the locals have to say. So, Mika, would you let your husband do the big decisions in life like finances, where to live, that kind of stuff?
No.
No?
Fair ba nga, siya mo decide po ko. Kung ano na yung mundo ha, kung unsa ang maayong desisyon, dili nang iya-iya ratanan.
Yeah, you want a 50-50 kind of relationship. Okay, so let's say you're arguing about something, you and your husband. How would you settle the argument? Would you just give in or will you stand your ground?
Mugive na lang ko.
Give in?
Oo, para dili na masamok, bahala na.
Okay, so you're just gonna give in so to avoid confrontations. Kuya, do you think as a man, you should be the leader in a relationship?
I think so, especially for things like where you guys need to live.
Okay, so would you say that in decision-making process, if it's something important, a guy should have the final say, like, expenses?
Definitely would have a preference for the man to be able to make a final decision.
So how would you define submissiveness?
Submissiveness is being able to accept the decisions.
Okay. Is it someone who just accepts orders or someone more agreeable?
I don't really see the difference between the two.
Okay. So
But-
being a submissive person can be also an agreeable person.
Yes.
Okay. Do you think it's always bad? Because why do you think people think submissiveness is bad or it's a negative?
I think it probably has something to do with taking away the other person's freedom.
Oh, okay.
But I don't think it doesn't have to be like that.
You and your partner are disagreeing about something, like something really important, and how would you resolve it?
Well, we would have to talk it out. We need to figure out exactly what needs to be done.
Open dialogue with your partner.
Yes.
All right, that's nice. So, what about this saying from the Bible? A man should submit to God, and the wife should submit to the husband. So, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think that's reasonable generally, but nowadays you get more women being able to decide for themselves, and so
Okay.
it makes it hard to accept such a statement in the Bible.
So, do you think Filipinas are submissive?
Probably 60%.
Okay,
of
okay.
Filipinos. Yeah.
Why do you think Westerners prefer Asian women like Filipinas as their partners?
We are less influenced by the new thinking.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're more traditional,
Yes.
you'd say?
Yes,
Okay.
I think so.
Miga, would you let your husband do the big decisions like finances, where to live, that kind of stuff?
If it were me, I wouldn't let him do all making all those the decisions, because if we're going to be living together, I think it would be better if like every big decisions we make, that'll be a turning point in our life. I get to take a part of that. I help him make it, so that it's better if there are more brains thinking, right? So
Okay.
like I don't think I should just leave all of that to him.
How about if one of your sons, he's being a naughty boy, and your husband wants to spank him to discipline, and you're not okay with that? How would you handle the argument?
I don't really think that showing showing kids violence at such an early age is a good thing. It's going to be traumatizing, and it'll really affect how they'll grow up from here on. So I'll tell him honestly that it's something that he shouldn't do as a parent, as a man, especially because he's a man. He's going to have a lot of brute strength.
Do you think a man should be the leader in a relationship?
No, it's okay to take the lead occasionally, but I don't think he should be the lead. It's something that we should both be doing because it's our relationship.
Okay, so how do you define submissiveness?
Submissiveness is when you give up your whims, give up anything that you want just because your partner says so, because you don't want them to think bad about you. It's about giving up all the things that you like because you want them to take the lead all the time.
Okay, how would you differentiate submissiveness compared to being an agreeable person?
Submissiveness is putting down yourself just for the other person, and being agreeable is occasionally putting down your opinion, but still somewhat better to be with.
Would you say that Filipinas are submissive?
No.
No, it's a
A
big
big no.
Okay.
Filipinos are definitely not submissive. We can be anything, but not that. There are times where we are agreeable, but definitely not submissive.
Do you think Filipinas are stubborn?
We are. We obviously
you?
are. Yeah, I am. I'm bullheaded.
Okay.
And Filipinos are definitely stubborn.
In your opinion, do you think being a submissive wife can lead to a happy marriage?
No.
No.
I mean, when you're submissive, as I said, you're putting down the things that you like. So, if you're going to be in a marriage where you're going to be with your partner for a really long time at the end of your life, it's going to be kind of hard to hold all of that urges inside you. Like, when you want something, but you don't want to, you don't want to tell them, it's going to be hard to hold all of that in. It's going to pile up, and then it might actually explode one day, and I don't know.
So it's not a good thing to
it's
be
not
just...
a good thing.
So do you like a man who's masculine and, that can protect you, that kind of stuff, like chivalrous, if you say?
Chivalrous, of course. I'd prefer that, but it doesn't have to be like a big guy. I mean,
Okay.
I'm more into the scrawny type, but
Okay.
I mean, as long as they can fight, I think we're good.
Okay, perfect. And lastly, why do you think most foreigners or Westerners, prefer Filipinas?
We're agreeable, but at the same time, we know when to put a stop, when to hold the fort and stuff.
Right.
We're very good easy to get along with. So there's probably a factor that they take interest in, which is why we're easy to become partners with.
Okay. Would you let your boyfriend or husband be the leader in a relationship? Would you want him to lead?
I guess so, because I don't really find myself that much of a leader. There should always be like some leeway, or we can adjust to each other and compromise when we really need it.
Okay, so you also want to be heard when it
Yeah,
comes
yes,
to,
for
you know,
sure.
decision-making process. Okay. Would you consider yourself submissive?
Yeah, well, maybe. I'm
Maybe?
pretty agreeable.
Okay. How would you define submissiveness, though?
Someone who really doesn't fight back. Like, I guess
Okay.
there's a fine line between being like a pushover and
Mhm.
being submissive. Because if you're a pushover, you'll let them step over your boundaries, you know, even if you're not okay with it. But if you're submissive, you'll let yourself be heard. But if you really can't agree, then you'll submit.
Okay. Mika, would you let your husband do the big decisions in your relationship? Like what car to buy, that kind of stuff?
I wouldn't want my partner to take over everything. I want him to approach me first over the big decision because I want to help. I want the house very peaceful for both of us. I don't want
Okay.
any shouting. I don't want
No fighting?
No fighting. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I don't really like that.
Me neither. I don't like fighting or, you know, shouting and yelling.
Yeah,
Okay. How would you define submissiveness?
like you can put your guard down
Okay.
and let him do everything. If he knows his way on
Okay.
on that certain thing,
Okay.
on that certain problem, I would let him take over. I can ask him things like, "Oh, how can I help you? Like, do I research this stuff or do I
Okay.
order this stuff for you?" And whatever he needs help with.
Well, in that sense, that sounds like being an
Yeah.
agreeable person and
Yeah.
being supportive. Okay. Why do you think people, when they hear the term submissiveness or being submissive, it's a negative thing?
For Filipinos, I think submissiveness means weak. You don't have a say in everything. So like they think na it's a weakness. But it's
Ah.
actually not. You can actually find ways on how to make it your strength. Yeah.
You have to complement each other. It's like, okay, if you know this stuff, okay, in the household, you want to be the provider, then be the provider.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to be the mistress of the house, like, you know, I take care of the house or
you
take
can
care of the
you
kitchen.
you can have a scheduled
Right, like do a relationship agreement.
Yeah.
Relationship agreement.
so it doesn't get messy. He can be in charge with everything, but as long as I'm in charge with the cleaning.
Okay. So, how do you handle arguments? Who has the last say?
If we fight,
Mm-hmm.
I want us to actually give both of us some space first.
Ah, do
To
you do
God.
do you do the tampo thing, sulking?
No.
No? Wow.
Well,
Okay.
I did, but I learned from it.
Oh, okay. Do you think Filipinas are submissive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, some people
Okay.
they're submissive.
Okay.
That's why the Americans or the Western people are attracted to the women, mostly women actually,
Okay.
because they're submissive.
Okay.
Filipino women are strong-minded, and
Yeah, tell me about it. Yeah.
they're strong-minded, but seeing them submit themselves to a Western people, I was like, what happened to her? What happened to being strong-headed women?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I understand. I
Okay.
understand. Maybe they have their own reason. They have their wants on
yeah,
why they
That
they
need to be
chose that.
fulfilled.
Yeah.
Then they have to submit.
Yeah.
Submit yourself for an inspection. Charot. Okay.
But we all have different opinions about it. So
Okay, so you'd say you're not a submissive kind of person.
no.
No. What if your husband is like filthy rich? And Elon, you know, he's like Elon Musk. But all he wants for you to do is agree with whatever he says. You don't have to think about anything because he's freaking loaded. Would you be okay with that kind of situation?
That's hard to actually imagine. Like
Like
to
right now,
answer.
there's Elon Musk proposing to you. I'll give you the world. He can even take you to the moon.
Can I give two opinions? Because if ever that I have a problem, a current problem, a financial issue, I would take it, of course. But
Okay.
if I was financially stable, then no, I wouldn't take it.
In your current situation, though,
I would take it.
I take it. I'll take it. No questions
I
asked.
only have 100 on my wallet, so I would take it.
Yeah. Do you consider yourself submissive in a relationship?
If you are in a relationship, it should be kanang balance.
Balance. You
Yes.
want like 50-50
Yeah.
split. Okay. Would you let your husband do the big decisions like, buying a car or...
It's okay since bay man ko, so na-joy aside times na nagapasagad ra ta og gasto inana.
Okay, so in big decisions like that, you'd let your husband do that because being a woman, sometimes we are impulsive when it comes to buying.
Yeah.
Okay. The Bible says the man should submit to God and the wife should submit to her husband. So, what are your thoughts? Do you agree?
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Of course.
Do you consider yourself religious? So you'd follow the Bible. Okay. So you'll submit. Submit!
Submit.
All right, Paul, why are you here in Dumaguete?
Okay, I'm here in Dumaguete because I'm looking for asawa or uyab.
Asawa or uyab, wife or a girlfriend? Why the Philippines?
Why the Philippines? I've tried different countries, Vietnam, Thailand, Mexico, yada yada yada. But there's something special about the Philippines. The people are warm and friendly. It reminds me of the sunshine.
I'm
The
kind of
wo-
cold right now. Just kidding. Okay, so we're warm.
Bugnal, she's called.
Okay.
Okay, so what was I saying there? Senior moment. Yeah, I was saying about the people. They're warm and friendly. They're so nice. The climate here is wonderful. The economy is good if you're a foreigner and you're bringing a small pension. So all these factors together makes it the win factor
Wow,
for
win.
me.
Okay. I would assume you're Scottish.
Scottish, yes, I'm Scottish, yes. Shaken but not stubborn.
I love your accent.
Licentious to kill.
Are you looking for a submissive wife or girlfriend?
I don't see people as being submissive or strong. I'm trying to look for someone, if I'm honest, in the middle, someone who has give and take, so it's a balance of
Okay.
a relationship.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how would you define submissiveness?
Someone who does everything you ask of her, and I wouldn't do that because it's not right.
Okay.
So, no, I don't like the idea of...
Would you say that the guy or the man should be the leader in a relationship?
Traditionally, in the West, going back to biblical times, the man has always been seen as a leader in a relationship.
Okay.
And women for a long, long time seemed okay with that.
Right.
But things changed, the economy, women's rights progressed. So women now see themselves as independent, they can have a career, which is really cool. So no issue with that. The Philippines is very, I think I'm safe in saying traditional. The woman cleans, very domesticated. But I am too in Scotland. I clean
Okay.
after myself, do dishes, wash, sew, the whole thing.
Okay.
So that thing is now becoming redundant, but some women like that role and some men, and if I'm a wee bit, I've got a sneaky, okay,
Okay.
I do like it.
How would you settle an argument? Let's say you're in a relationship with a woman like me.
Mercy, wee.
Would you argue with me? Shut up.
Who would argue with the Philippines?
Would you argue with me? No.
Well,
Would you have the last say when it comes to decision making?
You compromise as much as you can, and I think most people do that. They do come to an agreement because you have to sacrifice some things to gain other things.
Okay. Do you think Filipinos are submissive compared to our Western counterpart?
I think first impressions they appear to be, I'm shy, sir, I'm shy, sir.
Yeah.
But once you get to know them after about 5 minutes, they're in your face.
Yeah,
the
like this.
Filipina people.
Yeah, like this. Like she's feeling close to this dude, like ambushing this dude.
Yeah, great examples of Filipina people.
I know, right? I'm not really a stalker, really. No, I'm just asking random people. But yeah, no, seriously, do you think Filipinos are shy?
From my experience, I think that the culture, there's an indoctrination that every girl is told, I'm shy. But in reality, they've all got that inner superwoman, Wonder Woman, ready to come out. I mean, they get an opportunity, they become educated, and the time is right. They become that woman, they can become sincere and honest, and they don't have to hide behind the, I'm shy, sir.
Okay. Well, that was very interesting, and I heard quite a mix of different opinions. So you probably want to know if I consider myself to be submissive. And while I usually try to keep my personal views out of discussions like this, I'd answer the question this way. I don't see myself blindly accepting whatever my mate says just because he's my partner. But I certainly don't mind yielding to him if he has a strong opinion about the subject or when he has more experience or knowledge in a particular area. If my husband knows about real estate investments and he tells me we should buy instead of renting, then I'd accept his judgment. No problem. If you explain your position logically, and if you have a fair point, even if it's not what I would have decided on my own, I'll be agreeable to it. And if there's ever something I feel so strongly about that it's a hill I'm willing to die on, I trust that you'll take my opinion into serious consideration too. I believe in an equal 50-50 give and take, but that doesn't necessarily mean I have to make half the decisions. Generally speaking, I'm happy to let someone I trust implicitly take the wheel. Just let me sit next to you and help you navigate. Regarding the comments on this video, we'll probably have a lot of people quoting the Bible who are heavily in favor of wifeless submission, but who don't see it as a negative thing. We'll have lots of people on the other end who instinctively want to vomit at the mere mention of the concept. And then we'll hear from the more moderate folks who see common ground on the issue. I look forward to hearing from all of you. But as far as the question of whether Filipinas are submissive, listen to the stories from guys that have married us. Compare it to what Filipinas have to say, and you'll find that it's a question you'll have to answer for yourselves. Well, that's it for this episode. I'll be back on Friday with an inside look at how an average Filipino family actually lives. I'm going to invade their life for a day and show you the reality. You don't want to miss it. Till then, folks. If you think about it, I'm kind of like the girl next door. No costumes, no superpowers, just someone who keeps their eyes and ears open and knows how to get you the information you need when trying to learn about life in the Philippines. I'm familiar with Western culture, and I know my own, so I can be a valuable resource when it comes to all things Filipino. If you enjoy my channel and want to help it grow, please hit the thumbs up button on this video, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, and consider checking out my Patreon page where you'll find exclusive videos and features. And you can rest assured that I'll be bringing you fresh, high-quality content twice a week. See you around the neighborhood. Oh, I almost forgot. Can I borrow a cup of sugar?